And let me get on my phone and share her.
I feel like I look like I wear the same thing in every video, but this is my house dress.
Girl, we're in quarantine. Shit.
Exactly. I have it in a few colors, and I do wash. Amen.
Can you start a watch party on your page?
I'm about to now.
Because you know the I've noticed the girls are more interactive on your page, bitch. When you
All
share it
right,
to
here
your
we
personal
go.
page. Hey y'all, welcome to Black Trans Women Talk Live. We are about to get started. You know how we do. We're just trying to welcome. Come on in. Tell your girlfriend I am your girlfriend. Let them know this is where they need to be. Share this live. Share this live. Also, this is an interactive experience. This is our special Q&A edition. So we will be answering your questions and things. And who knows, we might even invite you on here so we can engage in conversation. So we're going to let a couple more people come into the room. I made it safely back to Chicago. Even though
Yes, you
I miss
did.
being with my
Although
sister,
you,
really.
although you didn't call me, bitch. We'll address it offline. I'm just playing.
I'm back in Chicago, honey. Welcome. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Two black trans women running their own podcast, honey. Where are you going to see this? Where are you going to get this? Come on in the room. Come on in the room, honey. Let me go make a video so I can come on in the room. Um if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you're and if you want to say something, if you want to leave a comment, make sure you do that. So how do you want to start this off?
Let's just start off by giving an update about our week and how things are going. So you started out by saying that you went back to Chicago, and how was that? How have you been adjusting? I know you're trying to move. I know it's some moving parts. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
tell them a little bit about why I'm congratulating you. Brianna has some big lawyer news.
So I just on Friday I took the oath to become a part of the District of Columbia Bar. So usually there will be a ceremony, but because of Corona and things of that nature, all of that has been canceled. So we have to do everything virtually or by
Did you get emotional?
well, not really, only because I had to do it with a notary. I had to do it with a notary, and I had to get like my documents notarized, and then I had to email them to like the courts in DC, and that so they could approve my process. And then after that, that's when I have to pay my fee in order to become a part of the bar and be like a dues paying member to the bar.
Oh, that's intense. So
Yes.
it was a process for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So it was cute for a second, but then it's a bill coming.
Garner Brooks says congratulations.
Thank you, Garnett. Thank you, Garnett.
This is a big
So
deal, sis. My sister's so modest, but I'm just so proud of you. This is like low key for a lot of people, since this is a dream come true to see you in this situation. You know that, right?
I know, and I'm very like appreciative. I'm very thankful, and there are definitely some trans folks coming down the pipeline that I've been in contact with, and who will be working on some stuff as far as them enrolling in law school, and just me just breaking the game down to them, and being a guidance or a mentor. Of course, law school is like school period is just going to be really different if school's even open in the fall, because that's a lot of the law school experience. Like your first year, it's like being in high school. So I feel really bad that the 1Ls are really going to miss out on that, and that's how you get to learn different personalities and all of that. But I will still guide and provide guidance where I can. So yeah, sis, what's been going on with you? You had a major accomplishment today. Let's talk. That was in process while I was down there. So let's talk about that.
We bought a car. It's nice. Don't want to get into the making model because I'm not the kind of girl that talks about such things. But it was time, and the process was trying to buy a car during COVID is a trip, because the people are kind of like, why are you here? But at the same time, we want your money. So it's this push-pull. But also the distribution channel amongst the dealerships has been really, really affected by COVID as far as being able to get a car. So it's not that. Oftentimes a dealer will say, we can sell this car, we're authorized to sell this car, but it may not necessarily be on lot. Well, even cars that are just as close as like Florida or Tennessee, they were talking like 21 to 31 plus days to wait for the car to be able to get shipped here, because shipping has been delayed because of the COVID. So yeah, child, it was just amazing to go through this experience, but it's over.
Yes, well, yeah, I personally saw the process, and it was intense for y'all. It was really intense for y'all, but I'm glad that y'all were able to find something that worked for y'all, and that y'all will be on the road rolling again. And that's what's up. So, like I said, we really don't have any intense topics for tonight. I think it was just important for us to come back on here, join forces now that I'm back in Chicago, and just shoot the shit. I know I have some things that I want to talk about, but I particularly want to talk about them on the podcast, so I won't discuss them tonight. But like I said, this is a question and answer section. So if you guys have any questions, or if you have any things that you want us to talk about, please bring it into the room. Make sure you're commenting on the Facebook video, the YouTube video. Yeah, just make sure you're commenting so that we can see, but we really don't. Yeah, this is about y'all. Also, episode 17 is available now. Our audience is amazing and it's growing, and I'm so excited because week after week, we hit our numbers like now within the first day. Usually it used to take a whole week for us to hit our numbers, but now we're hitting them like in a day. So that means you guys are getting the word out there about the podcast, and you're telling your friends, and you're listening, and we really appreciate it. We really appreciate it because we are very like grassroots, and we don't do this for the fame or for the notoriety. We do this because we know that there are deeper level conversations that are being had amongst trans women, and we want to document it and put it out there to let people know that we are capable of having agency over our lives, and talking about ourselves in a way that is complex but also relatable. So I just live for the fact that you guys are really coming through to support us, and we're about to hit our 20th episode soon, and that's really fab to me. Sis, what are your thoughts?
Same. I'm at a place now with this process where I feel the confidence of knowing that we have a body of work that I can be proud of.
Right.
You know, anytime you go to start something new, you're wondering like how are people going to perceive us? What is the reaction going to be? How are we going to fit into this ecosystem? And what I love is not only do we get affirmations from our fans and supporters, and like you said, our viewership grows every single week. But besides all that, I get affirmation because I see our position being carved out in community. Because I'm all about feeling like I'm being useful. I'm all about having conversations that I feel like are pushing the needle forward. I'm always about engaging people in what I think are going to be transitioning conversations, right? So it's intense at first to be wondering how will we fit in, but I love that as I look at other content and other content creators, I see that there's a place for us, that our unique point of view, young lady, has a place. I think that the conversations that we're able to have, the dynamic that you and I have, and the background that we are able to have, and the way we are able to discuss things, adds a nice texture, to the little hodgepodge that is our community. So that's dope. This is dope. I'm appreciative of this process, for sure. For sure. So, girl, let's get into it. We've given them the preamble to the United States of America. We've given them all of the good things about our week and all of that. We here at Box Number 512 Podcast are here to talk about real shit. And and not that anything that we talk about on here is less or more severe, but we love being able to have conversations that start dialogues. And I think so. We had a post that we put up yesterday, and it created a dialogue and a conversation about something. And I'm going to let my sister Brianna introduce this wonderful topic, girl. So tell us a little bit about
that's one of the topics I want to talk about when we record. But
podcast.
Right, but all I will say in reference to that topic now is it's never shade. It can never be shade on my end, and I respect everybody. And even if you feel I don't like you or whatever, I'm still invested in you winning, because you winning is a win for all of, because when you go out there, you represent all of us. So it's never shade on my end. I
misunderstood you in the production meeting, girl. I thought you were saying we were going to have that conversation now.
No. I wanted to wait to, because I want my thoughts to be organized, and it's some stuff I still, when I talk about that particular topic. And I don't want to speak from a place of emotion or like trying, I really want to be direct with what I have to say. But like I said, all I will say now is, honey, it's never no shade. And just because you are a supporter of ours doesn't mean that we are not entitled to critique you, especially if you put something out on a public platform. Like, we thank you for the support, but if you do something, and we are a podcast where we talk about this grown Black trans women talk, and you are a public figure. So if you are a public figure and you put yourself in this position, so like we're gonna, if you put something out that's harmful, and it wasn't just us that was saying it was other trans people. Like, it's a thing now. So
I was asked by someone in my watch party, I'm going to put it up in there. Someone wanted to know where can they comment so that the comments show up on here. I guess that's what they meant when they say really comment. You can actually go on to our Box Number 512 page.
Right.
And you can go directly and click on the link there. And then that will, you can go right in, and then the comments you type in there will show up here.
Yeah.
The only reason why it's not showing up is because you're in my watch party. So if you do have a comment that you would love to share on the big screen, I am trying to do a good job of reading. But if you would like to just put it up there, that's fine. If you want a little more discretion and just have the conversation in Samaya's little safe space, you're more than welcome to ask the question there as well.
Right.
Now, just go ahead and introduce our next topic then, girl.
Go to our main page, and we're live on our main Facebook page, and make sure once you go to our Facebook page that you're liking our page so we can get those numbers up there too. But yeah, like I said, it's never shade. Like, I've been in this activism game since 2009, so for the most part I've seen it all from all levels, so it's never shade. But it would be irresponsible for us to see something that is problematic and then just be like, well, she supports us or she's one of our girls, so we just gonna give you a pat. Like, that's not how that's
now
not,
I'm still away, girl. Let's pause because we're getting into it, and we're not going to talk about it because people are asking, what are we talking about? And if we're not going to tell it, we don't need to talk about it at all.
So I'm gonna table my thoughts and make sure you guys tune into episode 18 of box number 512 podcast, where we will like go into it more in depth. And because like I said, I want to talk about it, but I want to my whole thing is I want to critique what you said, but I don't want to attack you as a person, because it's a difference. And I feel like not too many people know the difference. Like, I can have a problem with your position but not have an issue with you. So I kind of think that will be my theme for how I approach this particular conversation.
Gotcha. Well, we look forward to having it tuned in to box number 512 podcast next Friday for that commentary.
Yeah, honey, you have to. You can't get all the good shit.
Yes, wait till that episode comes out. What episode are we at now, girl?
It'll be 18.
Oh my God, episode 18 coming out next Friday. So stay tuned if you want to hear what the hell we're talking about.
All right. Does anybody have any comments or anything they want to talk about? I have one little thing that we could talk about.
Okay, shoot, girl. I'm down.
So one of the Black trans women that was murdered in Texas, one of her alleged murderer was arrested, and it was another, unfortunately, a young Black cis het man. And somebody, I shared a post on my personal Instagram page. Now there's like a new social media movement called Boycott DL Men. And I remember I kind of wanted to Garnett, our pay. We have a page on Facebook, like a business page, box number 512 podcast. Is all you have to do is type in box number 512 and we'll pop up. But getting back to what I was saying, now there's this conscious movement to boycott DL Men, and no shade. I know I want to have a conversation on our recorded podcast on killing DL culture, but we can definitely get into it a little bit right now of like, what does that really look like when we say like boycott DL Men or kill DL culture? What does that really look like? Because it'll be more of a social thing to me, because it's not really like systemic or institutional. But the way I envision it is it will be us doing things on like an interpersonal level in order to like circumvent the prominent culture of like DL men, particularly discrete or DL men that continue to pursue trans women. Because at the end of the day, I feel like those of us who continue to date Black cis het men like myself, even if we voluntarily do it, it's kind of always in the back of our mind that like he could be DL and what comes with that, and just all of the games, and like it's not safe. It's not safe anymore. So I kind of want to curate a conversation or curate comments of like what that will look like on a personal level, or what are things that we can do on a personal level, because at the end of the day, it's all about us creating necessary steps in order to protect ourselves and to protect our sisters in our community, because nobody else is really doing that for us.
That part.
So
Erica Carter made the comment on here. I doubt that will ever change. And I guess I think part of you can't. And I agree with everything you said. And I want to go on to say that I think it's important to notate you cannot shift a paradigm or change a situation or even really tear down a thing until you're ready to unpack for yourself what part you contributed into upholding that thing.
Right.
And I think it's important as people in general that we remember that the things that we don't like about our society, the things that are rearing their ugly head right now, the systems of oppression that make us all feel a certain way, and then how we bequeath that onto our children and pass on this mentality that status quo is how it's supposed to be and there's nothing we could do about it, so why bother? And I feel like that defeatist mentality is part of the problem. And it's also that failure to be accountable to oneself. So then, in what ways are we being strategic in the way we position ourselves as a community so that we are able to move and unite? In what ways are we tearing each other down? In what ways are we defending and upholding oppressive systems of beauty, oppressive systems of femininity, or ideals of femininity, oppressive ideals of what it means to be a woman and what it means to be beautiful, and or in our case, in our trans community, what it means to be passable or real. I feel like when we can stop trying to use all these other systems of oppression to define ourselves, and if we learn to become more internal in our locus of control and begin to focus on self, I feel like a lot of the shit that we see, the toxic behaviors that we uphold and allowing the men that we have, the way that it's all a reflection of us not taking the time to do the work that we need to do internally to heal, that we need internally to do to clear our mind, our head space, our heart space to be able to be prosperous. And so I'm excited that a lot of people now are talking about the systems and the things and all of the issues. And I'm glad that we're galvanized as a community around the need for systemic change. But I also want to talk about change in community and the way we treat each other. And I also want to talk about the change in the way that we engage with ourselves and allow other people to engage with us, that accountability piece. We got to make sure we include that too.
Mm-hmm. Girl, so I just in my watch party, I just put a link because some people are feeling brave and they want to come on camera and they want to make a comment. So if you want to do that, please feel free to click the link and I will let folks on one person at a time to comment.
Y'all want to come on?
Yeah, come on and comment.
Out.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done this on the show before. So definitely come on if you want to come chime in on the topic, or if you have something else that you want to talk about, feel free to come on. Click the link, honey. We need to hear from you. This is all about creating a community of voices and like community talk. I want to go back to what Erica said. Us changing the culture as a whole, I don't think that will change. But I feel like on a personal level, like for me, like for instance, there are certain things that I practice now to where I'm not bringing DL or quote unquote discreet men into my space for anything, whether it be like for a hookup, because I'm not going to act like I still don't hook up like I'm a single woman, or just for talking. Part of that, and I feel like we've like talked about some of my techniques in some of the earlier episodes of my show. Like, I'm really inquisitive. Are you out? Are you closet? Does anybody know that you are dating with trans women? I'm listening for the language that they use to describe trans women and they use to describe their attraction. And like I said, I'm not going to say like don't ever sleep with like a DL or discreet man because you don't know. And sometimes niggas will lie to you if the goal is for them to you to spray their face, if that's the end goal. But
girl, your way with words sometimes you'll be so conservative and be delivering this like, and then you be like spraying for girl. What?
It's the truth. It's the truth, Miss Thing. It is what it is. But and I don't want to put it out there like, no, I'm out here, and I know for a fact that every man that I've hooked up with, or every man that I will hook up with, is not going to be this out and proud trans amorous man. Like, I'm realistic enough to know that. But if I know that you're DL, there are certain mechanisms that I've developed to deal with you some type of way. Like, for instance, if we're hooking up, you're not like a lot of closeted DL men, even if they just want to hook up with you or have a one night stand, they want to have that intimacy or that access to feel like they know you or feel like they know intimate stuff about you. And in my personal opinion, I feel that's how a lot of the girls get caught up, because oftentimes we end up oversharing to our detriment. And it's like, no, if you are DL or discreet, or you're not this, you haven't done the work on yourself to be this suitable partner for sex or even friendship or relationship, you don't get to have that type of intimate access to me. Let it be what it, and that's the problem. A lot of guys act like tricks, but they don't want to feel like tricks. And a lot of that comes from
that again, because I feel like that's worthy. I feel like somebody at the back of the building needs to receive that.
No, a lot of men, they act like tricks or they act like dates, but they don't want you to treat them that way. Now, it's okay for them to treat you that way, but they don't want to feel like they're being used. But it is what it is. And I feel like for me practicing and just getting comfortable with asserting myself, knowing that my life and what I do with my life, that there's a value in that. No, you don't get access to that if you're living like a DL or a discreet lifestyle, because going in, I know it's going to be an imbalance of power, and I'm going to have to end up oversharing and doing additional labor just to engage with you. And for me, it's not worth it. So okay. So it looks like we have some people coming on. And all I will say is, stay on topic. Please keep the comments respectful. And also, we need you to come on camera. We're not doing any
none of that.
Yeah, we need you to be
bright lights.
All right.
We need you to do the same. Oblige us, please.
Right.
We'll treat you.
So, Kevin, hey, welcome to Grown Black Trans Women Talk Live. Welcome to our live.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, what is your comment?
My comment is more about us men. It's just simple. It's we tend to let other men, determine how we live.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that, there's a lot of men out there that aren't happy because they can't be themselves. And that sucks. I mean, because they allow society to control them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, because I actually left a comment earlier on IG, and I was like, it would be so much easier if people could just be themselves, and the others just mind their damn business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's not your business who I date, who you date. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you
and
this.
I'm like,
I'm sorry, what were we saying? I'm gonna let you finish your thought. I have a question
for you. Go ahead.
Well, my question for you is, thank you, by the way, for you coming on today, Kevin. I really appreciate you. My question for you is, so as a man that has gotten to this place where he's not worried about what other people think about him, or you embrace the notion that men need to be self-defined. How was that journey for you? How did you get? Because I'm sure Because what I always like to say is, I know that the men that have to go through a transition for themselves, or they have to go through a journey of self-discovery. How was that for you? If you talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
It really took a lot of soul searching, to be honest. It took a lot of soul searching. Just really asking myself, am I ready for what comes with it? And with me, I'm like, love is unconditional. Love doesn't have a gender, period. You know what I mean? So if that person that you're with makes you feel good and gives you the love that you want, that's the person that you should be with, and not worry about who else is around you or who else is in your ear saying, well, I wouldn't do that, because you're right. You wouldn't, but I would.
That's powerful.
You see what I'm saying?
Affirmation is powerful.
Right.
I mean, it definitely.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just saying, that it took a while, but I mean, like it's funny though, because I knew that I was different, as a child, right? A real quick story. So y'all know who Boy George is, right?
Yes, I am definitely familiar. The
Bill
pop star.
George.
Yes.
Boy George.
Oh,
Boy George, right? Okay, so this is how I knew that I was different, because as a child, I didn't see a dude in makeup. I seen a woman. Just because that's the way that that person looked.
You were able to see the femininity and see and it was enough for you that it read as female, though the world told you it wasn't.
Correct.
That's interesting, and that shows that children are even able to perceive diverse gender expressions in adults, and they're not often. And like what a lot of adults assume, children come with this openness of spirit. It is not until the world begins to tell them things that are right and wrong, and this is not what you're supposed to do or what you are supposed to do, that then that freedom is starting to be repressed by expectation, right? So I love the fact that you're talking about time in your life before you had expectation, and when you were able to just see people for who they are. So that's very powerful. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Yes, thank you for coming on, Kevin. And you're also a big supporter of our podcast, and one of the early supporters. So we really appreciate you for coming on. I'm gonna put you back down in the chat. But thank you for coming.
Okay.
Really
Can I say one more thing?
Right.
I need to say one more thing if I feel that this is the most important.
Okay.
Most important.
As a loyal podcast,
which is this is really for the men.
Okay.
I need y'all to step up and be men. If you don't have what it takes to be with a trans female, leave them alone. But do me a favor and stop killing Black trans women, please.
Amen.
That shit is fucked up. No, I mean this is fucked up. It's fucked up because they're afraid to be who they are. And that shit pisses me off. No bullshit, but I had to get that off my chest.
Thank you. We appreciate you as Black men standing up for us and standing in the gap for us, and definitely getting that message out there. And we really, really, really appreciate you for supporting us and for coming on here tonight and letting it be known. So thank you so much.
No problem. Y'all be safe.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Sis, that felt really good.
Else, so before we go any further, do you see how lovely and convenient that was, guys? Kevin, thank you so much for contributing. That was a wonderful example for you guys of a lived experience. You just saw someone come on here and we didn't bite their head off. We didn't chew them up.
Right.
So don't feel afraid. We are excited to have this platform, and we're excited that we can have people on in this manner and that it can be interactive. So we would love if you would just take advantage of that. If you want to come on and make a comment, please click on the link listed below right here. So Bree, what do you think about what he just talked about?
I think we need more men like Kevin to really stand up and get out there, because we as trans women, we tired, and it goes back to that whole and I don't think we talked about this on the show, but that whole Chef Roblé debacle and having that man, the conscious lead on Instagram, like gather him and get him together. Somebody who has a bit the same in size or even a bigger platform than Roblé to accurately push back against the narrative. That warmed my heart, because that's what we are marching and screaming and out, like asking black men, what y'all niggas going to do? These are your people that are out here killing us. So what are y'all going to do? So seeing black men like that, it just warms my heart, because that means we as women can just sit in the cut and let them fight for us. That's all we want. Like, fight for us. Stand in the gap for us. If somebody
you claimed you wanted to be the protector, the guardian, the guide, the head that you say you want to be. I feel like we live in a world today where there's a lot of misogyny has made it comfortable to bash women and say that women no longer know their place. But I think a lot of men forgot that they also had a place as the head that requires that you have a certain standard moral code and actually a system of discipline to be able to actually be the head you want to be and to get that kind of treatment. So let's all remember to be better and rise.
Hold on. Troy has a comment. He said, how are we going to do a live when y'all are on the call? Because, Troy, this is grown black trans woman talk, and y'all are the men, and y'all are doing y'all thing. And
so what Troy is referring to, Troy, is a part of a collective of trans supported brothers that have a meeting where they kind of have a support group online, and they have an interactive call that they have, like how we're doing, but with each other. It's a private group for them though, and they have their call going on at the same time. And we thought, since we missed Friday, that we would go prime time. Now, when we selected this, we did completely forget about y'all, because again, y'all have y'all conversations. We're having ours.
Right. Excuse me, I had to go to the fridge and get me a Capri.
But thank you for watching, Troy, and you should be on the call then. Why are you You're nosy.
Yeah, no, but I feel with all the craziness and madness that is going on, it just warms my heart that so the right black men are getting the conversation, and now they're starting to do their work to enlighten their brothers. Just so, because at the end of the day, it's not just like it's not incumbent on black people to end racism or to deconstruct racism. It's not incumbent on trans folks to stop transphobia. Cis people have got to get in there, and guess we know cis people are traumatized and they are going through a lot, but they still benefit from cis privilege, and they weaponize their privilege to harm us in many ways. And it takes men out here, particularly trans amorous men with huge platforms and the presence in the black community that was trying to take up space a couple of months ago, who has been silent on everything. It takes men like them to push back against transphobia and stand up for something that doesn't directly benefit them, because they're not going to be able to munch the next exotic girl in the bed. You okay, sis? You all right? You all right? What?
Girl, you be carrying me too far.
Are you all right, sis? What's going on?
You make me laugh at an inopportune moment. Just let me catch my breath.
But it's the truth. If you really are in community, then you need to you as a black man with your platform and you're doing all of these live videos talking about irrelevant ass black shit when you are still pursuing trans women and we are dying. Like, girl, come on. Come the fuck on.
I agree, girl. I agree, girl. You just had me fall out. Let me get some water. Girl, you made me laugh at a very inopportune time. Sorry to the fans. I hate to do that. You know, I'm not the girl that likes to run off camera. I think that's tacky. So I'm sorry.
Black men, you have got to do better, and you have to do better, even when it means you're not going to have a new girl to cut up with. Like you have to do it for the love of us as people. And I think we were talking about when we talked about this on the last episode. It has to be more that you liking particularly trans women. It has to be more than they're the best of both worlds. It has to be more than something that we experience that we can give to you physically. Who are we as people? What is our walk? What is our journey? If you can't be there to support us so we can have the little bit of freedoms to do that shit, then what are you doing?
Agreed. And I also want to say too, this is where, like, I'm getting back to the accountability piece. What are we doing to make sure that the people that we engage with in our lives feel like it matters to us? Because I hear a lot of girls in community still now reverting back to that psychology of, well, girl, I mean, what if they don't want to be a part of it? Or I don't want to be a part of community because of X, Y, Z, and I don't like this person. Or you have girls in community that benefit from the work of the girls that actually are doing the work while talking shit about them. Right. And I feel like when people from the outside, when those men are looking to our community, if they saw a united community linked hand in hand, and we were truly advocating for each other the way we said we were, they wouldn't see a community that was vulnerable. Because I think that if you look at the roles that we play in our social circles, we are the social leaders in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, people naturally enjoy our company. And because of that, that gives us influence. And I'd like to think that if us as trans women were saying to our circles, hey, I need you to do better. I need you to talk a little bit more. I need you to be a little more concerned about this. And I need you to stop trying to make me your exceptional trans woman, like your special tranny friend. I need you to see that I'm a part of a community that's bigger than me. I would also like if we could get to that place in community where we saw each other as valuable, and then there's nothing that you have to do. There's no how many amount of followers. There's no your product versus my product. Like I want us to get to a place in community where we see each other as human and but also as human beings. What are our opportunities for growth? And in this way, I just believe we as a community got to stop the internal bullshit. And I need to just bring that into this space, because even online in community spaces, sometimes the energy feels very toxic because the lines have been drawn in the sand due to tribalism. So you have people that have now, oh, you don't like my friend girl here. Well, if you don't like her, I don't fuck with you. And not only that, I'm going to speak ill of your organization and all the work you do. And we're not going to come support you. Matter of fact, we're going to come protest your shit. And I don't want us to become so angry, because we have a right to be angry. But I think that the anger needs to be strategically used and positioned so that we can get our agendas across, as opposed to wasting the anger, burning it at each other. That's my point. I wanted to put that out there too, because I feel like a part of it, like when we're talking about intersectional conversations, is being able to acknowledge like the ways in which if we were stronger, some of the things in community, some of the the ways in which the people around us even feel like they can get away with talking about the community or act in a certain way. If we all walked in our confidence, I feel like a lot of shit could just by that being cut down. Because I hear a lot of people saying, well, girl, what am I supposed to do? Y'all come on here every week. What am I supposed to do? Hold the people around you just that little bit more, make them understand that it is important to you that your life matters to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want you to do.
And I wanted to bring another point in reference to the killing DL culture and these murders. Like, it is almost like the same step and script, right? It's the guy is cool with dating you in private and engaging you with you in private, but if there becomes a possibility that the relationship could be outed or become public, that's when a girl gets shot dead or stabbed dead. And it's like, why is that? Why is that? And it circles back to the men have to be held accountable for their actions and what they're doing and their friends and all of that. And also the cis women have to be held accountable because they create the culture where it's, oh, you with a trans woman, you gay, or you need to defend your honor. And I was watching a video with Diamond. There's even been instances where even if a black cis man was okay with the fact that the girl was trans before everything jumped off, when black cis women come in the room, it's like your manhood is challenged. So now, even though you were cool with it before, now you have to act like you aren't cool with it and do something that's harmful to trans people. So it's just like,
can we talk about how that is adjacent also to fragile masculinity? Because the two run hand in hand, right? So you have women that engage in toxic masculinity, that act as gatekeepers, that use their influence and the ability to have the male gaze and to hold men's hearts as their mothers, as their literally their teachers. And we begin to teach young males from a young age that to be a man is to reject anything that's soft, anything vulnerable, anything that isn't hard and tough and pain. And I get that is to strengthen that child against the world. But what we inevitably do is create these men with these very fragile definitions of what a man is. Crystal thin definitions that are very surface. Because what we know a man to be is a complex creature that has a myriad of different sides. And I think that in society, we've gotten comfortable with looking at men as dumb and as simple. And women on the other side have gotten too comfortable upholding patriarchy by policing how men emotionally react. It's irritating to me to hear women say things like, oh, you crying like a bitch, or that you behaving, or you getting emotional, or you gossiping like a bitch. When you do things like that, you're emasculating that man. What you're telling him is that you, woman, have the ability to tell him what a man is because you're more man than him when you say shit like that. And that toxic masculinity, that policing, women do it. Women a lot of times, and because we are the leaders and the matriarchs and the grand dams of our family.
Yeah, women create culture.
Spouting the bullshit and encouraging DL culture. Because when you tell your son, I better not see you crying, tighten the fuck up. And you tell him stop crying, right? You are creating a culture in his mind that requires he suppress everything that is real about himself for what the facade looks like. Nobody better not ever see who I really am. So in a real way, you are encouraging the notion that people can't be them full selves. You are encouraging the notion, and you say you want people to be honest, but if he was honest, would he lose the ability to be able to be considered a man in your eyes? And a lot of women would say, I want you to tell me, but then would look at that same man and say, and now you're nothing to me. Or we can't even, as if he messed around with an animal. And see, part of it is because deep down you're transphobic, and you are hiding behind these systems of oppression to say how you really feel. And it's really because you just can't take it. And it bothers you to your soul that a vagina is not the only holder of femininity. That that the vagina can birth femininity, and it may be the originator in some ways, but femininity is something that every human being has, man and woman, straight and gay. And until we can embrace that, we're going to always be denying people.
No, somebody, we got a comment from Erica. Hey, Erica, thank you for interacting. You are asking way too much to think that cis women are going to release that gay shit, especially in the Black community. Some will, but it is a small sum. For me, I don't think it's about in our lifetime or even within the next 10 years that everybody's just going to be on the right page. What my whole angle and my whole politic is that those of us that get it have the responsibility to push back against harmful rhetoric, to push back when somebody puts something negative into the atmosphere. I have to put something positive into the atmosphere. Positive meaning my perspective. Now, I'm not invested in changing your mindset, but you never know who's listening, you never know who's around, and if I see something harmful, I have to push back against that narrative, and we have to check it, and it's uncomfortable. And a lot of people are not going to like it. A lot of people are going to say you're sensitive and you're divisive. But I said what I said. But a lot of times that is a passive aggressive tactic because people are too high on their ego that they don't even want to come down off of their ego and consider the possibility of why what they said could be problematic, or why what they said is triggering such a reaction. Instead, it's, well, this is an attack on me and you can't take me and I'm over here. And it's like, no, just entertain the possibility that you probably said some fucked up shit to warrant this reaction. Go ahead, since you look like you want to jump in.
Yes. More of that on the podcast. But yeah, to what Erica's point was, I don't want us to ever underestimate our gifts and our powers and our anointing. Right. The world doesn't. Why are we? So if we look at what the world is absorbing from us right now, how the very marrow of our bone is being now commodified and put on media and on TV. And oftentimes the very people that these things are supposed to represent are not being paid what the company made to produce the shows that to represent that community, right? So I don't want us to ever doubt our influence because the people that have money don't. They know that we're powerful. They know that people who are tuning into us, we may not have so many viewers on this thing right now, but here's the gag. We know that the people that are here are influencers. See, because we know that the way trans people show up in community, it impacts people. Whether they like you or not, people going to remember you when you walk in the room, and they going to remember what you say. Even if it's just to judge you, they're going to remember their every encounter with the tranny. That's a good thing. We can take that energy and that spirit of influence and that ability to affect change in people's environments and make it work for us. So then while you looking, bitch, here's the truth. Boom. Now, I may not know you, you may not know me. But after this conversation, sometimes it's not browbeating someone, it's just having a human conversation. But it's hard to hate something that you've seen and that you've engaged with and you enjoyed the conversation. And see, what I find is that it's more important for me that I let my sisters know that I'm a sister just like them. And by experiencing me as a woman and by trying to connect, I'm trying to deconstruct the notion that there's all these walls. Because beyond that minor difference, that we have more in common. But to the influence piece, I think that we have the ability to affect change in small people. But because of the mystery and the mystique around us, people talk about when they see us. If you know how the people react in our families and in our lives, girl, I saw her, she had on this, that. And why they doing this, that? Well, girl, what she say? Boom. Now the truth has been shared. We almost like a bad review at a store. You know how they say good news travels a certain amount, but bad news goes really, really viral? Mm-hmm. Well, girl, use the fact that they try to make us bad news to our benefit by making sure you make the best impact you can on people. Try to share light and love, but also spit the truth. So now, run and tell that. Go on and run and tell that. You saw one today. Hey, girl. All right. I know your feelings, sir. God bless.
Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. But I'm sorry. Somebody commented on the post on our Instagram page with the black cis women don't owe trans women shit. We aren't their oppressors. Women, especially Black women, are not responsible for everybody.
Who
like
put that up?
No. Somebody commented on our Instagram post.
Who put that up?
I guess it's this woman.
Now you bringing that back in here. You don't want to move on from that, girl. Is that the post we talking about on the podcast?
No. Yeah, that's the one we're not talking about. I just responded to it, but it makes the only thing I will pull from that post is like, cis folks, y'all are not absolved of y'all transphobia just because you Black. Like, you're not absolved of being like. Ugh. I look forward to more Black men and Black women that get the conversation, with platforms standing up, so we don't always have to be those girls that always have to say something when somebody fucks up. So I'm looking forward to that day. So yeah, I feel like we had a cute. Nobody else wanted to come on the live and get on camera and make a comment. I'm surprised.
I'm surprised too.
But it's okay because that was our first one. I look forward to the next video. But I'm glad that it was a brother.
Black women are leaders. I agree, Michaela. I agree. Black women are leaders. And we oftentimes are forced by circumstances of life into leadership. And we operate in a way that I feel like where we need to become united. And so the division, the cis women don't owe us shit, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus and cast it back into the lake of fire from whence it came.
Right.
Because guess what? We are you are us. We owe each other dignity, responsibility, respect, and we owe each other to do unto each other as we would have someone else do unto you. That's what the golden rule is. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so we do owe each other something, if nothing, the debt to be respectful and to love on each other. Because while we're here on this earth, what is the purpose of being evil and ugly and nasty and rejecting people that look just like you, that are in your family, that you say you love, that came out of your body? We are your people. So yeah, we owe a debt to each other. So yeah, all that energy, like I said, I rebuke all that and cast it right in there.
We got a comment from Michaela Soul. Hey, Michaela. I think this is the new fight because a lot of the old school girls and boys have let stuff slide. Yeah, I feel like older people in community, they did let stuff slide, but I think it's because they had to survive. And we didn't have this not only the visibility, but social media has given us ways to collaborate and come together and have like a collective and unified voice. So rather than just one person saying something in a conversation and making it easier for them to discount us or gaslight us like we're making this up, now it's like an army of Black trans folks from all around the country, all around the world saying this shit is fucked up. Acknowledge the ways that you are harming us and stop the bullshit. And now they can't weasel out of being accountable. So, but it's a lot of older trans women I meet that they have like a lot of weird dynamics, especially with their family. And even though I don't understand it or I wouldn't personally do it, I understand that they come from an older generation and they just had to do what they had to do just to get by, We have another comment from YouTube. I'm a Black cis woman and I get it. Thank you, Miss Shawnette, and we appreciate you for getting it. Thank you. Thank you.
To the woman I did find the post that you're referring to, girl, and I just want to say to that woman, you are amazingly beautiful, and I would hope that after tuning in to Box Number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk, every Fridays at noon, our new episodes to premiere, and our live after shows are also every week on Fridays. And I'd hope that if you continue to come and check us out, your perspective about trans people will shift. That's the beauty of this platform. We're here for people to observe and to learn and to be educated, and hopefully you take advantage of that.
And the shade is, if it doesn't shift, you need to get out of our way, honey, because we're not shutting up, we're not stopping.
I don't think that she was telling us to shut up. You know how we tell people our opinions. She was giving us hers, and so I read it.
No. I'm just saying in general, because there's a lot of people, like, if you say something that's not aligned with their views, it's just like, well, I don't want to acknowledge you and it's just like, we are beyond that. Like, if you step on my foot, I'm going to scream. Like, so I'm going to I'm not shutting up about it. So either evolve with us or get out of the way of progress, honey, because we not stopping nothing over here. And I'm not even talking in reference to the show. I'm talking about in reference to this movement that we're in with trans activism, but not even trans activism, awareness of Black transness and Black trans femininity and what we represent, and us really being able to create content and create images that is reflective of who we are and our place in this world. So if you're not going to be with us, honey, get out our way, because we're not stopping nothing over here, honey. We have a question for you, Samaya. I don't know if you feel comfortable with answering this. DJ says, Lioness, what are your goals over the next 2 years in terms of activism, and where would you like to see yourself?
So I have two major goals. My one major goal is to grow as a thought leader, as a public speaker. I have been doing public speaking and particularly cultural competency trainings for a very long time now. And that has evolved to a bit of a consultant business for me. So that's something that I've been doing. And so I would love to see that business expand. I would also love to see this podcasting expand. I would love to hopefully one day maybe get a little talk show, you know. I do, we have our content here that we provide, but I would like to be a content provider in myriad of different ways. I want to have my own multimedia business, so that's important for me. But lastly, and most importantly, I'm the executive director of TILT, which stands for Trans Individuals Living Their Truth Incorporated, here in Atlanta, Georgia. And what I would like to see my organization do is be able to start a trans leadership development program that will allow trans women from whatever background, it's not even education related or even required, but to be able to come into a program where you're able to go through an assessment, actually get your needs holistically addressed, be able to participate in interventions and programs to meet different parts of your physical health, physical, emotional, and spiritual needs, and also get placements and job training, and actually be able to have people come in and do centering exercises and motivational therapies to help you really develop as a person. And then at the end of this leadership development program, I would love to be able to place these people in whatever it is that their goal was, whether it was to be able to go through hair school and get through that process, and this program can help support you through that, or whether it be you actually becoming going to college or going and getting a business, and actually us helping you develop your business ideas all the way from seed to harvest. I would love to be the incubator for my sister's success. So I do want to be the change that I want to see. And I think with my organization, TILT, which stands for Trans Individuals Living Their Truth Incorporated, feel free to follow and like our Facebook page. And yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to grow as a thought leader, but I also want to make sure that I'm putting into my community by developing this program.
So we have a couple of more comments. Michaela commented again. Thank you, sis. It's embedded in.
I would like to read this.
Oh, go ahead.
It's embedded in Black folks to not challenge Big Mama, where a Black cis woman always right. You can never challenge Black cis women. I love Black cis women, but they need to be challenged. I agree. I agree, and I want to say, I do agree that they should be challenged, because I do believe that there's what I was saying earlier, there's a lot of embedded toxic masculinity, because a lot of Black cis women's existence has been in struggle, right? And so you want to prepare your children. You also want to keep this ability to be able to be ready for war, because life is war. It's hard being a Black woman. And so I get that. I'm a Black woman. I get it. But as a Black cis woman, I get it even more so, because it's levels to it along with it. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I completely understand our uniqueness and our differences. But I also think too, like, Big Mama and those people, they didn't necessarily intend for some of the toxins that they were around to absorb in their bodies, and then for them to pass that knowledge and that toxin onto their kids. And I feel like you're right. We got to start challenging some of these oppressive, just if nothing else, we got to start analyzing. We're not even in a place where we're able to even analyze Big Mama critically, or even unpack what Big Mama went through, so that Big Mama was telling us this stuff. A lot of our Big Mamas, no shade, were women that were dealing with a lot of different things, and they were trying to do the best they could under the very uncertain times. And so we got to unpack Big Mama. We got to unpack the notion of matriarchy, but only as it props up patriarchy. Like, I believe if women in general, if we as women valued other women and valued femininity, and actually valued what it meant to not be compared to a man, but just to be yourself, and that's okay. I feel like if we really did that with each other and didn't try to like compete for the male gaze in jobs, it doesn't have to be sexual. It could be just trying to get a job and knowing that everybody around you is male, and you trying to fit in, and you want to make this other woman, you want to compete with her. Like, it's so many levels to it. So I get it. But like, yeah, we have to challenge toxic masculinity's effect on Black women. We do, because we have also been colonized in our minds to believe that we aren't worthy of a certain level of respect and dignity. And therefore, if Black women don't have it as a collective, then now we're looking at these trans people like, I didn't even love my own kids. How I'ma love you? Nobody told me how to really love myself. So how I'ma love you? So we got to unpack so many levels to that. So yes, I agree, Michaela. Like, we got to start challenging Big Mama. Before we can even challenge her, we got to be able to analyze Big Mama and what she went through, so that we can really put it in perspective and context too. You know what I'm saying?
And get to the point where, even though I know you've been a lot, you've done shit that has harmed me in the following ways, bitch.
Accountability. Big Mama has to be held accountable. Because now here's the problem. We want to give everybody, it's okay for us to talk about what massa did to us and the systems of oppression and how they affect us. And and it's okay. And we call ourselves woke by being able to identify these things. But it's also know thyself, right? So then in what way am I, again, accountability, in what way am I toxically putting stuff in my children, in what way am I inadvertently harming somebody that I'm thinking I'm helping, but I'm victimizing them with a narrative that victimized me and I don't know no better? Like, in what ways am I? Because women, Black cis women, are our moms and our grandmoms, and these are the people that are the light that brought us into this world physically by birth, and that's something that a lot of cis women hold over our head. Well, yes, that is the miracle of life, is that by being able to have two X chromosomes, you are able to bring life in the world. Some cis women with 2 X chromosomes are, because we all know every woman can't have a child, period. But, you know, we appreciate that. But along with that responsibility comes the responsibility to nurture the seed you brought here. And that means love, leading with love and not with hatred and oppressive regimes and things you read in a book that a white man wrote for you, and really looking at what's in front of you and realizing that you have to adjust to what God gave you, the miracle you received. And that may not come in the package you wanted. You may not want a trans child, but if you get one, don't reject what God gave you, that miracle, because you worried about what the world and all these toxic things you were taught that told you you weren't enough. Don't put that then on that child, because the world is going to do that. But we need our cis Black women. We need Big Mama. We need our mamas. We need our aunties and our sisters to stand with us.
Right. DJ put, we need to respectfully challenge our elders and stop letting destructive practices perpetuate through different generations.
I like respectfully. I do like respectfully, because I am that girl that believes in respecting our elders and holding them in a regard, because I'm getting to the age where I want people younger than me to see and acknowledge that I've got to a place in life that I paid the cost to be the boss, and that this dignity came with hard living, and it came through me persevering, and it came from me being the person I am. So when I do walk in a room, I do expect a level of deference and respect. Not that I want you to kiss my feet or do nothing like that, but if nothing else, I want to feel like there's that you see that I'm someone that is someone that is to be respected, because I am going to respect you. Period.
I get that, but I'm also of the school of, just because you're older, if you're not giving me respect, don't expect no respect. Like it has to be a mutual thing, because because if you're nasty and you're old, but you come off to me nasty, I'm gonna give that back to, and to me, as part of breaking that, is a part of challenging that narrative that just because you're older, it just means that you old or you're older. It's like, are you respectful? What is your analysis? What is your politic? Because even when I think about with my my own mother, like, do I respect her as my mom? Yes, but in reference to my transness, when it was an issue in our relationship, it got to the point where I'm an adult now. I am living on my own. I'm supporting myself and making these decisions. So I'm coming to you as a woman, I'm a woman having a conversation with another woman. So it's either going to be that base level of respect for us to have this, because we no longer need to have the same mother-child relationship because I'm now an adult. But if you want to be in relationship with me as a friend, it needs to be a baseline level of, and you're not just going to get that because you birthed me, but you're actively contributing to de-respecting me and dehumanizing me by not calling me by name, by not calling me my gender pronoun, because that stuff has an impact on me. So I
agree. Now see, here's the thing. I am now, for people who know my story, I know I'm that girl. I don't play. If you're not with it, you against me, bitch. I'm not her. You know, when it's time to battle, I battle. I battle with love, and I try to lead with love. But if you want it, we can do it. However, I am one of those people that I often have found, and this is for people that are in the journey now, because this is touching in that conversation of having people in your life that say they love you, but are refusing to give you the level of dignity and respect that they demand from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I found that self-respect, more than any other concept, person, respect for anything else in this world, self-respect is the most important respect that you can have. Self-respect. And when I realized that my parents were human beings and that everything that came out of their mouth was not the gospel according to nobody but them, I was able to realize that it was more important for me as a grown-up, because see, part of being grown is remembering that self-respect is most important, for me to affirm myself first. And if that meant that there was a period where we weren't as close, then we weren't as close. but you have to affirm yourself. And I feel like that is the part in everything in life. If you are operating from an affirmed sense of self, you're not as caught up and worried about what other people think about you. That's to our DL brothers that's out here dating the girls. That's to girls that's in situations where you have family members who are just giving you that push. Baby, listen, I respect myself too much to allow you to be able to hurt my feelings. So if that means I have to put you on the shelf for a minute, I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I love you, whoever it is. Luckily, my family and I are in a great place now. The journey was wonderful, and I wouldn't change a thing. But it was a journey. And I feel like if we being honest, everybody in a transition, when you're dealing with someone that is going through a transition, everyone in their life has to go through a transition. And I feel like what I've learned is not to be as quick to cut people off, but to remember that you can love someone from afar. That's the key, because I respect myself too much to have any energy around me that's not embracing all of this. Because I get up every day and risk my motherfucking life to be this woman. And I'll be damned if somebody say they love me can't give me that level of respect. Because I'm going to go out in the world and they fit to let me have it. But in this motherfucking house, and when you say you love me, the minimum, the bare minimum, you're going to give me that. And if I have to put you on the shelf, I love you from afar. And I feel like that's a golden nugget I want to pass on to the girls. Like, girl, you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And then when to pick them back up. Because everything that you put down there is disposable. Amen.
DJ said he remembers our various Marsha Plates episodes. Shout out to Marsha's Plate.
Shout out to Marsha's Plate. Hey, everybody. That cast has been so sweet to us, and our reception. I've received love from every member of that cast in different ways. So shout out to them. Just it feels good to be received by your community. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, DJ, for that comment. Yes. And thank you for tuning in and remembering us and following us on this platform. I live.
And I think I'll go to our last comment for our show tonight that I wanted to touch on. Michaela, once again, look at Michaela pulling it through. How can we talk to cis women about not having them feel like we are making it a them versus us thing? I feel like we talked about this in the episode we had about disclosure. Like, I really don't feel like that's any. If somebody is committed on thinking that trans women are here to replace them or we're the new hot shit or whatever, I don't think it's anything that us can say. I think that just speaks to a mentality of anti-blackness that is rooted in white supremacy to make them feel like their womanhood is the valid form of womanhood and that their womanhood is under attack if they accept us. So I think for those type of cis women, that's a journey that they have to go through to like unlearn a lot of that and to see that we have trans people, we've always been here. Whether the history has been told correctly or not is a different topic, but we've always been here, and it's not a competition, and our oppression is linked to each other because we are all going through intimate partner violence, gender-based oppression, gender-based violence, colorism, texturism, featureism, because at the end of the day, we are all women, and our woman exists outside of our genitals, whatever they may be, male, female, or intersex. So I don't think it's incumbent on us to teach them or to assuage their fears. I just feel like they have to be committed to seeing how white supremacy has impacted like the way that they feel about womanhood and while it's under attack. And there's also black cis women that get it. So I feel like those black cis women, they're on the front lines doing the work. So I don't really think it's anything that we as trans women can really do. What do you think about that, sis?
How can we talk to cisgender women and not have them feel like we're making it a them versus us thing? I think it's reminding them that we have more in common than we have dissimilar. We have more similarities. So some of the most beautiful conversations I've ever had in my life have not really been conversations, but encounters. It has been someone getting to know me and us having wonderful conversations. And there, you know your moment, and you know your moment, because I often believe too, you have to wait till people are ready to receive. Because see, my goal in life is not to be the billboard. Some girls, that's their thing. They want anybody that's listening to know, like that's cute. And that's not even to trivialize that. I respect warriors, the people that are on the front lines. I kind of look at our movement in a militarized way because we're in a militarized time. We got to have the frontline people. We got to have the strategic trained soldiers, the Marines. We got to have those people out there. And those people are uniquely gifted at rabble rousing, and they're uniquely gifted at agitation and being able to get our message out on a broad level. I have no respect, no disrespect. I live for it because it's valuable. However, my strategy is to be more I think the word I want to use is I want to be more relaxed in the way that I want to approach educating people.
Conversation.
So the way that I relaxed and conversational, because what I find is there will be a moment where someone is having an opinion on something, and I will just very graciously insert, well, this is what I think. And a lot of times people, you will be surprised how many people you think know your tea and don't know, or they, they just not. So sometimes people just not focused like that on you. Then you'll realize how you can have an impact on people, because people will immediately go, I've had people go, you just changed everything for me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You just changed everything for me, because until I met you, I had a completely different idea of what it meant to be you. And a lot of cis women, but a lot of the cis women that have the opinions about us, they don't have trans friends. Because if you had a trans friend, you would know she was a woman. Because our femininity be tight. I'm talking about our femininity is diverse. It is unique. It is not combined. And I promise you, we have had to fight so hard to be who we are, that when we are, it is amazing to be around freedom. We are amazing friends to have. To be around somebody that is truly free is a blessing. And I feel like if cis women had more relationships with trans women, if we encourage dialogue, and like my sister said, conversational, if we use the conversational strategy, we could impact a lot more women. Just reminding them that we're women too, and we are more similar than we don't. More importantly, we're dating the same men. And
thank you. Hello.
More importantly, the men that are killing us are getting back in your bed and holding your children the next day after they're killing us, cutting us up, shooting us, stabbing us, burning us. Those crazy men, the same men that's beating on you, are the men that's beating on us. And we have to, as women, remember, we don't have the luxury of dividing womanhood, because we're all women and we need to bind together right now. Because if you haven't noticed, womanhood, Black womanhood, is under attack. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
Right. And that's why I don't even get mad when I come across a cis woman that is resistant or doesn't get it. I know, because of our shared oppression, and because of our unique position in life will make us become allies, because we're going through the same shit. Life will make us get side by side next to each other and have to work with each other. So I'm all about the long game and playing the long game. So it's nothing to me, because I know in my heart that you and we walk similar paths and we're impacted by the same thing. So I try not to take, at this point, I know what I hold to be true, and I don't take it personal. And I think we as trans women, we have to know who we are and get to a point where we recognize our womanhood is valid. So when we do get attacked, we don't take it personal. Can't nobody tell me that I'm not a woman. And it just is what it is. I know my experience.
Because who would have to, because let's be real. To have to fight to be who you are makes it even more a sweet of a victory when you're able to be free. And then now that I'm free, nothing can shackle me. And see, that's the beauty of this experience, is we have had to go through a metamorphosis where we were cocooned by the way the world defined us. And we had to bust out of that shit. And we're not going to let anyone define us now. And how we define ourselves is as Black women. So we are you. And we seek nothing but to be accommodated and respected just like any other woman. We seek nothing more than to be your sister and your ally if you'll have us. But you have to let down that toxic masculine mentality that says that softness, vulnerability, femininity in anything other than me is a problem. You have to start unpacking for yourself the way you've embraced toxic mentality. And once we can do that, cis women, once you realize your sisters have been standing around you this whole time, begging you to say, hey, girl, you walking past me, and it's not going to change, and I'm your sister, girl. It's not going to change that. So if we could get to that place where all women decided that we was going to stop judging each other based on what we think between your legs, the life would be a better place. You too worried about what's up under my skirt, girl. If you was really just trying to be my sister, let's just keep it there. Let's keep it surface. Because that's all you're doing with everybody else. Why with me now are you concerned about my chromosomes? That's deep, girl. So Black women, let's just ease up on trying to be all up under my dress. And let's just get focused on what's reality. What's most important? They're killing us. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
So I think that is a lovely place to end this edition of Grown Black Trans Women Talk Live TV. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Round of applause.
Thank you guys for watching. Episode 17 is available right now on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Make sure you listen. Make sure you comment. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate and write a review for our podcast. We really appreciate it. Episode 18 will drop Friday. We hope you guys listen, and just thank you guys for always supporting us and for staying up with us on a Saturday night so we could give you all this live. Sis, do you have anything you want to say?
Also tune in to Grown Black Trans Woman Talk Friday live. What we're doing right now is usually done on Fridays. And we are excited to have this level of participation today. It is monumental and it is powerful. And we had a wonderful time engaging with you. And so also we would love it if, like my sister said, you can donate on our Anchor page, like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social medias. And until next time, stay safe and take care.
Bye.